Good evening, and welcome to another perfunctory episode of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your pernicious and perspicacious host, voice of doom. Hello. I didn't really feel like doing a diatribe, but I feel I owe it to my fan to put my 2 cents in on the latest crap and to kind of iron out and take care of a few snafus I made in my last diatribe. At least one snafu that's been bugging me. Because if anything bugs me, it's when I put the wrong word in and then I'm totally misunderstood. And since I'm delusional enough to think that the whole world hangs on every word I say, I want to correct what I said. Vis-a-vis the hearing where Lizard was pontificating on how it was all Orangey's fault, and I was lambasting Lizard and Skinbag. And then I said that I wish Orangey and Skinbag would be bound together and thrown overboard. I misspoke. I do not want Orangey to be bound to Skinbag. That would be a fate worse than death. Unless he wanted to use him as a flotation device. But I meant to say I wanted Lizard, Schiff, and Skinbag, Nadler, bound together and tossed into the bounding main and left to float there. So I wanted to make that clear because I don't wish any ill will on Orangey. I do not like the other two. Now, when I was Dakota to the last diatribe, I wanted to add that I looked online to see how many comments and things on the news were dealing with this hearing business in New York City. And a lot of them were, but I have a thing on my YouTube homepage. When I put news, then I get some snippets of what they call news. YouTube, whatever the big Google, whoever the hell they are. And they always give me MSNBC, CNN, local channels, and they usually have things about hurricanes or tornadoes. But this day it was dominated by shootings that were basically rage shootings, paranoid shootings that they could make hay out of. Now my news feed on YouTube is a woke pile of crap most of the time. In fact, 100% of the time it is. I do not get anything from them. I'm not interested in their feed of what the news is to me, but I couldn't help but notice that most of the feeds had nothing to do with the hearings and people being fed up with crime in New York City. Nothing had to do with a kid getting shot by a guy because he rang the wrong doorbell, who was a black kid shot by a white guy. That's the one they're going to make the most hay out of. 2 cheerleaders getting shot by some white guy or Hispanic guy because they were going up to his car, went to the wrong car. Recently there's been one where somebody went up to the wrong place and got shot, and then the recent one is a girl of 6 and some guy and her father got shot by a black guy who had a criminal record and shouldn't have had a gun in the first place. And the whole overarching theme, of course, is we have too many guns in what used to be America. We need more gun control laws. We need to get rid of all guns. So that's what the mainstream internet media machine industrial complex wants us to get into our heads as we're watching this thing about hearings about crime in NYC and why the prosecutors don't do crap to criminals. More gun control is the answer. Now, the answer is always, do not ever enforce the laws on the books, but instead make way more laws. Makes a hell of a lot of sense, doesn't it? So you can think about that. We can make more laws about the border, as my yuckus, who's been on the grill lately, and I wish they'd grill him. I wish they'd have him on a rotisserie and spin it very slowly over the fire. But they still play kind of softball with him. I don't care how you should resign. Just get rid of the guy. Come to the realization that the border is a chaotic mess and just get rid of him. If you Congress can't get it together and do that, then you got a problem. And we all have problems. Now, I wanted to make the main topic of information and comment about this AI business that Elon Musk was imparting to Tucker, which I'm sure most people have seen because Elon Musk is a big voice. He builds space facilities, and he sends rockets up into space. And he has been manufacturing electric cars, and I'm sure he regrets it, and I'm sure he regrets doing a lot of the things he's done. He started AI. Now he's saying that AI they should take a hiatus on studying AI and developing it because we're getting way over our skis with this AI business. We're creating things that are way more powerful than we are, and yet we want to keep going. Now, I've noticed a few things about humankind since I've been on this planet. And I think it's been going on ever since the first cudgel was invented by a caveman. Is that if you can figure out how to do something, you're going to do it. If it's a possibility, and you can use your ingenuity to invent something, it's going to be invented. And sometimes it's invented, but it cannot be used. And that's not because it's a bad thing, like a hydrogen bomb. It's because it's too good. Now you look at people like Tesla, who was artificial intelligence in a way. He was way head and shoulders above everybody, including that thug Edison. And he invented things that were way beyond people's ability to understand and way beyond their ability to accept, because he could create electricity out of thin air. And that was not going to do good for the electric companies and the fossil fuel industries, would it? If you can create electricity out of thin air, then where's the profit margin in that? So everybody knows there's been inventions throughout history that have been shelved by the powers that be. So why shouldn't they shelve this AI business? Because it's not AI, it's not artificial intelligence. That's implying that it's something fake, a fake rendition of intelligence with which Homo sapiens supposedly has. We don't have any. So you just call it intelligence. We've invented intelligence. Us apes, us idiots, us morons have somehow put together, through alien technology, superconductors and chips that are so powerful that they're smarter than we are, because we were never smart. Not a high bar. But they're creating artificial intelligence, or we'll call it that, just because everybody else does. We're creating intelligence that is going to outstrip our existence, according to Muskie. Now, let's go back and take a trip down memory lane and talk about various ways that AI can be detrimental, harmful, and or helpful. Rod Serling, Twilight Zone, mid-60s. Astronaut stuck on an asteroid. Makes a lot of sense. Let's put one prisoner on an asteroid, fly him all the way, have him be in, solitary confinement. So the whole premise is dumb, but they knew he was lonely. And so the people that bring him the supplies every year, another wasted trip, brought him a robot that was a woman, and he was not happy about it at first. He thought this was a fake person, but the person was very real, and he fell in love with the damn robot because she acted like a real woman with real feelings. Then when the supply guy astronauts come and they give him a stay of his sentence, a suspended sentence, we're going to take you back to Earth, but we don't have enough room on the rocket that we've been going back and forth on for this robot. And so the guy is like, sad and pissed that they had to leave the robot there like a piece of garbage that he fell in love with. Okay, think about that for a minute. Think about that being actually real. Because you're going to make people, you're going to have the right texture and the right feeling. They're going to feel soft and warm, and they're going to gyrate, and they're going to be very compliant in whatever wishes you may have sexually. And if you do not perform well, they will be programmed to not bitch at you. So you want to talk about replacing women. There you have it. I mean, forget about transgender athletes. Now, let's move on to 1969. How? I am perfect. I can make no mistakes. I'm infallible. I run this spaceship that's going to Jupiter. And I know every single system, and I can control everything. And I'm infallible, so this shall be a very safe journey. What ended up happening? Okay, I'll tell you what happened in a nutshell. He was programmed to lie. He was programmed to hold the truth from the astronauts because they didn't want the astronauts to know that there was a damn monolith out there. So he had a nervous breakdown. Hal did. The machine had a nervous breakdown. He had to make a choice. Do I go against those orders? Or do I kill everyone on board, and that will save me the trouble of having to think about it? Well, we know what happened if you watched the damn movie. Everyone ended up dying. And Dave Bowman became the star child, and I can go into that later. But you get the gist. Intelligence that we've created, if anybody's artificial, it's us. And I was intrigued by Muskie's conversation he had with his buddy about developing intelligence too fast. And the guy says, "What are you, a speciesist?" Implying that you're being some sort of a phobe if you are against the human race basically abdicating itself to machines. So I'm going to talk about this more later. I think I said a few interesting things that people can think about. I think the sky's the limit, and when machines can start fixing themselves, then we might be in a bit of a pickle. And there's many ways you can use our newfound intelligence. There's many ways that it could foul up and just create a nuclear holocaust, or release a pandemic, or just cause all kinds of havoc. Who knows what? But if it can be done, it will be done. Be it evil or good, people will try to do it. So don't try to stop them from creating more intelligence. And we could probably use it, because what's going to happen is, like this guy says that I saw on YouTube, he says it's going to be a very comfortable socialism for the elite and a very ugly capitalism for the poor. Well, take the poor out of there, because they're all going to be dead. You'll have your comfortably cushy elite socialists that'll all be waited on by robots. And the robots will do all the dirty work. And whatever these cushy elitists do, I don't know. I guess they'll be technicians. I guess they'll be people that actually put together the chips. I don't know. But they're making it so that here's what you're going to do. You're going to have robots do all your work. You're going to be riding on a yacht driven by a robot. And you're going to take trips everywhere and have a very good life. After the 6 billion have been escorted off this mortal coil. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that. I found that automation, I look forward to it more and more. I don't like it at first, and then I start to like it. Say the answering machine. Annoying when you get an answering machine, but after a while it's like, please be an answering machine. Please, I don't want to talk to a human being. I just want to leave a message. Later on, I hate having to check out my own food at the grocery store, scanning it and doing all this on this console. Love it now. I prefer to do it that way, because I can always sneak in a few things in the bag when they're not looking. So, automation, the creation of real intelligence will probably be our undoing. We'll probably all be dead soon, but thought I'd throw my 2 cents about what Muskie was talking about. And we'll talk more about this later, as long as I have some platform, some mechanism to impart my wisdom. Shouldn't be much longer before it's all gone. So enjoy and have a good day. Thanks.